Over the last several years, we've seen a lot of shows, particularly in animation, get rebooted or continuations or revivals, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to lump it into the reboot term for the sake of sanity. And over the years, they seem to have been getting worse. Just absolutely no idea what made the show popular to begin with. A lot of it seems to be just marketing and going off the name alone. And then Samurai Jack happened. Now, Samurai Jack got its revival or continuation specifically for this show after Teen Titans Go and the Powerpuff Girls. Two shows that made me absolutely horrified that Samurai Jack was being brought back. Those shows were so terrible in every single aspect. Even with the original crew coming back, I was afraid that Samurai Jack would not be given the justice and just the quality that it deserved. And I am absolutely shocked by how good it is. In some ways, I know I shouldn't be because it is the original team. Everyone who is still alive, rip Mako. We lost a really great voice talent there. Everyone who is still alive came back for this show. Close to 15 years later, Genndy Tartakovsky could still get everybody involved back together. That shows how much they love this show, and it shows in the quality we've seen so far. We're only 3 episodes in, and I'm already ready to call this the best reboot of a series ever. It is that good. And it gives me hope. It really does give me hope for the future of animation. That a show can not only get this good a revival, but that it can, in some ways, be better than the original series. That's unheard of right now. It's expected that they be worse. You hope for at least decent. This was better than, in some ways, the original. It's really hard to argue that it's better overall, but in some aspects, it's obviously better. The animation quality is still top-notch. You can see that Tartakovsky's style has evolved over the years, and whether you like that or not, that's a matter of taste. This is more fleshed out, especially in the backgrounds. The backgrounds are just beautiful. And they have mastered that technology this time around. They looked absolutely gorgeous in Samurai Jack's original run. In this one, they look even better. The voice acting is still top-notch. I didn't think that Aku's voice would work well, but they nailed it somehow. I don't know how, and I don't know how many takes it must have taken to get that down. The comedy is the biggest part that I was afraid of, because I thought that that would take a hit. Without spoiling anything, the beginning of episode 2, that 4-ish minute segment, may just be the funniest thing I've ever seen in any Samurai Jack. Ever. If you do nothing else to convince you that this reboot is worth it, watch the beginning of episode 2. That won't spoil episode 1, because it's sort of a little side thing for episode 2, but it is just absolutely hilarious. I had to watch it several times, and each time I got something new from it, but it was still just, it had me rolling every time. The choreography and the combat is still top-notch. There's even some meta-level jokes that are made. in regards to the show itself, but that still work in the context of the show, and those are really hard to pull off. And the show got dark. Now, again, that one is up to a personal taste thing. Some people won't like that, some people will. I do because it makes sense in the show's context. They gave it purpose. They didn't just make it gritty and dark and just for the sake of it. There's a reason for this, and it works. I hope that other studios can see this and learn from this. Because I have seen everywhere that people are praising the new Samurai Jack season nonstop. And I hope that that does equate to viewership and enough money for Adult Swim or Cartoon Network to have seen that this was successful. I want other studios to learn from this. That what makes a good revival isn't just the show's name and then changing every fucking thing else. It needs to stick true to what the original series did, but in particular, it helps if you bring back the original crew. Not people who just watched it and thought they knew what they were doing. Mass Effect Andromeda. Excuse me. This does give me hope for the future of animation, because at least in regards to television animation, we were starting to hit really rock bottom lows that we hadn't seen since pre-90s. The 90s had some of the best cartoon series ever, and at the beginning of the 90s it had some of the worst cartoon series ever. And we seem to be stuck in that place where we got a good cartoon series every now and again, but it seemed to be just surrounded by shit. Particularly in reboots. Oh god, they were so bad this time around. And now I have hope again. And it's just so amazing to watch this series. I know, again, we're only 3 episodes in, so for me to say that this might be the best reboot of all time is incredibly quick, and I'm probably making a snap judgment. But compare that to the other ones we've got in the last 5 years, and tell me they're anywhere close to the same level. I dare you. Please, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, learn from this. This show has given me hope for future reboots. They're talking about rebooting Reboot. Haha. They've been talking about this for several years. I actually have hope for that, for once. I didn't think that I'd have that, but that's how well Samurai Jack has revived my spirit in that regard. Please, learn from this. Don't just make marketing decisions or toy decisions. That's the whole point behind Powerpuff Girls being revived. Make quality shows. We will watch them. I can promise you that. Anyway, this has been Math Machine, just gushing about how wonderful the new Samurai Jack season is, and if you picked up nothing else from this, go watch that. You really need to. Peace out.